Hello, hello. So we were just about to start in about maybe another minute. I was just telling everybody we have about 15 people who registered, but I'm sure not all of them are going to make it. That's the nature of webinars. Both sign up and forget about it and things come up. So we'll just enjoy you guys that made it and record it, and maybe they can have it, maybe not. I'll think about it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. And we'll start talking. Let's make this big here. All right, can you guys all see my screen? Perfect. Okay, so feel free to, I should be able to see still if you guys type something. If you type a question or anything and I don't see it, just do a little wave there on the camera for me. And I'll try to find your question if I missed it. So we just thank you for coming and joining me today. This is my first free webinar, so I'm excited about it. I want to be doing a lot more of these as of 2024. So we just started with education this year, and it's been, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of time and a lot of work. But I'm excited to at least bring this free webinar for you guys before the end of the year. So today we're going to talk about how to get more bookings from your website, how to make sure that your website is set up in a way that can afford you to get more out of it. So just the setup itself. All right, I see something in the chat. There you go. But I couldn't let's see. Oh, Celia, there you go. Celia's from California. Exciting. Ooh, we want it to be some destination wedding photography. I love it. All right. So just a little bit more about me for you guys that haven't met me yet. My name is Nara. I'm originally from Brazil. I've been here for about 20 years now. So it's been a little while. I tell my story is very long and very interesting and all kinds of fun stuff. But in a quick summary, I came here under a volleyball scholarship. And let me see if we can admit more people here. Under a volleyball scholarship. All right, let me trying to admit more people here, guys, but it's not letting me do it because I can't see my mouse. So I think we're gonna go like this. I'll be able to see more of you when you're coming in here. So, I came with a volleyball scholarship, didn't speak any English at all, went straight to college and had about $30 in my pocket. And that's, I've made it to where I am today from that, which is pretty amazing in itself. I feel like there's a lot of things along the way that helped, and things along the way that I learned, which I'm going to share a little bit about that with you guys today. I have two little minions that I love to death. They are amazing, they're funny, and they're creative, and they're going to be doing great things when they grow up. I'm excited for them. In my previous life, I was a doctor of physical therapy. I've tended to patients for many, many years, and my love of working with people comes from that. I really enjoy helping others and did a lot of teaching within the physical therapy world. I trained people, I taught in conferences. So me teaching is not new to me necessarily, is new to maybe a little bit of my photography world, but I've done that for many, many years on my physical therapy hat. I own multiple businesses now. I ran a very successful wedding photography business. It offers photo, video, and photo booth services. And I also own this education business now that we started this year. And I launched an app for wedding photographers and wedding planners this year as well. So a lot going on, a lot of different things, and have been very successful in doing this. On my first year as a photographer, as a side hustle, because I did this as a side hustle for probably a couple of years, I made $29,000. That was all the money I made on my first year. And I was so happy about that. I remember being excited about it. I was like, oh my God, I have all this extra money that I can now invest back into the business and do something with it. And, very early on learned that I needed some mentorship and some coaching, and took advantage of that to grow really fast. And in every year since then, I've made six figures and multiple six figures since then, especially in the last 2 to 3 years. So definitely want to share some of the tips and things that helped me on the last couple of years. And that's why we're here today. So if you just came in, make sure you type on the chat for me. What do you do? What is your specialty? And where are you in the country? These are just some places that you can find us and follow us. We have a website full of great stuff. We have a shop and education, tons of that for you. We have our Instagram account. Make sure you're following us. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Pinterest. And we have a Facebook group. So we're trying to be everywhere so you can reach us and you can share about where we are with everybody. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? So today we're going to focus on a few things that you can do, very tangible, practical things you can apply right away to make sure that your website is working for you. So we're going to talk about your homepage setup and what are the main things you should be seeing there on your homepage and how it should be looking to have a good flow to really capture the attention of your clients there. We're going to talk about a little bit of website optimization, a tiny bit of it. There's a lot that can be done to optimize your website. I'm going to just give you a couple of tips. We're going to talk about curating your gallery, what kinds of images should be there. And we talk about your about page and your contact form. So some of the main things that every website has, no matter what kind of business you're in, and why you should pay attention to those things, okay? You guys will be getting this presentation. I'm going to be sending this to you with a little gift. So make sure you can take notes if you want now, but just remember you're going to have the recording as well. All right, so let's talk about the first thing is your homepage setup is this concept of above the fold. So what does that mean? So when you hear people talk about the most important part of your content should be above the fold on your website, they're talking back to way back when people used to read newspapers. I know they're still out there. I know people read them, but the newspaper was the go-to marketing advertising channel. And if you think about it, it used to be folded, right? So anything that was above that fold on the newspaper was what caught your eyes immediately. That's where, as humans, you're drawn to, is that above the fold portion of the newspaper. So the same concept is applied to your homepage on your website. So thinking about what is above the fold, and from a website standpoint, that means what can your clients see before they have to scroll down? What is the first thing their eyes will land on when they load your website? And is that information that is very important to capture your client's attention above the fold? So here are some of the things that we're going to talk about should be above the fold. So the first thing is your value proposition. Your value proposition is really what are you bringing to the table? Why are you the person to help that client? Is how are you different than everybody else? What services are you offering that are gonna make you stand out? That's your value proposition. That's the definition and the marketing standpoint. And that's kind of like equivalent to your one-liner. So we talked a lot about, you hear talks about having your one-liner, having your kind of elevator speech, like what do you do? What do you offer to people? And that value proposition needs to be on that above the folder portion of your website, that first homepage of your website. So whatever it is that you have as your catchphrase, as your one phrase should be up there. And then the next thing you want to be make sure that's there is description of who you're serving and where you're located. There's a lot of times where I go to people's websites where it takes me forever, if I even can, find where they're located. Where are they offering services for? And that should be something really easy for them to find on your homepage. So you have the opportunity there to describe who your target client is, describe what are you doing, what are your services that you're offering, and where is your location, right? All those very, very valuable information that you should be sharing on that above the fold concept of your website on the homepage. So here's an example back to my website. Here is my value proposition: immortalizing love, your timeless moments captured forever. This is kind of my one line there, my value proposition. And then here on the right side, you're gonna see, you know, where am I? So I'm Jacksonville wedding photography and videography. So that's in here. My services are offered in here. And then also here are who are my clients? So I'm serving amazing couples in Florida and worldwide. So I kind of hinted a little bit to people, yes, I'm in Florida. Yes, I'm in Jacksonville, but I travel. I travel with my clients. So to me, that was important to have that on my above the fold heading for my website. It talks about I work with couples, and it gives you my value proposition. So that's definitely something that it's pretty easy for you to work on, pretty easy for you to fix and check on your own website and make sure that's there, again, working for you. A few other quick tips when it comes to your homepage. So you want to make sure that you have a little short snippets of the main pages on your website with quick access. So what does that mean? Some of the main pages that people are going to be looking at are your gallery, your about page, your services page, your investment page. Like, people want to know, what are you doing, who you are, what are you offering, right? So throughout your homepage, you want to have smaller sections that are kind of like little windows to those pages, right? So I should be, as I'm scrolling down your homepage, I should see a little snippet about you that when I click on it, takes me to your about page. I should see something that talks about your gallery, that when I click on it, takes me to your gallery. So it should be little windows of access to the main pages of your website, okay? You also want to make sure that you're establishing some recognition, your authority on your website. If you have any kind of awards, if you have any kind of publications or partnerships that you want to put in there, that's important, specifically to help people kind of relate to and trust. It creates trust between you and your client that, yes, you've been recognized, or yes, that you've had partner with other vendors that are servicing that same kind of client. The next thing I have in there is making sure you have testimonials on that homepage. Even on that first page, you need to be hitting them with testimonials from your past clients. When you're trying to sell yourself is one thing and has one set of weight and values. When it's somebody else selling your services and telling other people how amazing you are, that holds a lot more weight and a lot more value. So making sure that you have the testimonials on that homepage becomes very, very helpful and important. And the next thing I have in there is a freebie. So if you have the kind of business where you can offer something to your clients, like some kind of resource, that should be also on your homepage. It should be in there, easy accessible to your clients, but also in an easy way for you to collect information. This is a great way to grow something like an email list, for example, where you can have access to that client's information without them having to necessarily go and complete a whole contact form. So if you are a photographer, you can be offering something as a resource to your clients, like maybe you're talking about wardrobe preparation for a photo shoot. If you're working with couples, maybe you're talking about timelines or any kind of resources that you can offer to them to, again, in exchange for their contact information. And that should be on your homepage as well. And then the last thing I have on that list is your social media links. So the more you have people there following you and following your journey and getting to know you better as a person, it will help them to trust you when they need a service that you're offering. So those are very important things to have on your homepage. All right, the next topic we're going to talk about is the website optimization. So just a few things that you can focus on to help with your website. As humans, we tend to spend about a max of 2.7 seconds in a page before we get out of there if it doesn't load. So if you click on a website and it takes more than a couple seconds to load, you're clicking that X button, you're out of there. We just got so used to having an instant gratification of looking at things right away and clicking and having them, that 2 seconds became way too long for us to wait for something to load. And as photographers, which I know most of you here are, we tend to make a very big mistake that makes our pages load very slowly if we are not careful with. And we'll talk about that a little bit. So what I have in there for you is a resource that you can use. So you can use Google Analytics to look at all these kinds of things. If you don't have Google Analytics, I definitely recommend setting it up so you can be looking at some data. But you can use Google Page Speed Insight. So I have the link there for you guys. And once you get the presentation, you can just copy and paste and make it really easy. But if you just Google Page Speed Insight, you should be able to find this website where you can put your URL in there, and you can and it will spit up some information for you. So I actually looked up Apple for us. So that's the example. They have that on bottom. You can see on a desktop level, Apple is doing really good when it comes to the optimization of the loading of the site, the speed of everything. And then interestingly enough, when it comes to their mobile version of that website, there's definitely some things that they can improve, which is, to me, was pretty funny because it is Apple and, mobile is their main target. So, making sure that things are loading fast enough and nothing's kind of being behind when it comes to the speed of your website is very important. So the main mistake that we make, especially as photographers, or really anybody who's going to put images on their website, is the image size and how much that affects the loading speed of our pages. So making sure that you have images that are in the proper sizing, that are not going to slow things down, are huge when it comes to the optimization. So for the most part, most images having that max width of 800 pixels are enough to really have you there on where you need to be when it comes to the sizing. But I have some other examples there on that table for you guys, making sure that things are still of a good quality, especially when it comes to photography. We want to make sure that our pictures are showing up clearly and in a good quality, but you don't want to sacrifice your website not loading because your images are too large. So I made a little table there for you guys to give you some examples of some guidelines to keep in mind when it comes to the sizes of your image and how that can slow down things for you. Guys, if you've joined us in the last few minutes, go in a chat for me, put down what your specialty is and where you are, and I'll make sure that we will share some stuff on the end here too. The next thing I want to talk about when it comes to website optimization is really making sure that your website is mobile friendly. That should be a no-brainer, but it's amazing how many times we click on a website from our phone only to find out that boxes and text are overlapping, that you worked so hard on your desktop building your website, putting everything together, and then when you turn it and you forget to look into how things are looking on the mobile side of things. The vast majority of us today look at websites through our phones. So make sure that that's optimized to, again, load fast and visually look the way that it should. Ask a couple of friends. I'm sure you have a friend that has an Android and a friend that has an iPhone. Ask a couple of friends to kind of test your website for you on the mobile version. It is going to look a little different depending on the kind of phones that they're looking at, and that's important for you to make sure that everything is looking properly when it comes to visually placing all the boxes and pictures and buttons, and also making sure your buttons are working. Again, that doesn't seem like something that people will forget, but the buttons are going to where they're supposed to be going, and that they're working on that mobile version as well. Okay. All right, number 3, curating your gallery or the images that should be on your website. And this is, again, not just for photographers, this is for anybody that has any kind of image on your website. You want to make sure that the images that are there are matching the value proposition that you talked about on that homepage. There's many times when we hear something like, I'm a photographer for adventures and fun couples. And then when you look at their galleries, all you see there are very posed pictures, and maybe they don't really talk about, they're not giving the same message to your client. So if you are, are they fun? Are they adventures? Are they romantic? Maybe they're editorial. Maybe they're more candid. So whatever it is, the value proposition that you are offering to that client, the images on your gallery, on your images on your website should be repeating the same message over and over and over again, making sure you have consistency. It might not be on your face, but subconsciously people take notes of those discrepancies that you see when it comes to your value proposition and kind of images that you have on your website. And then are you showcasing to the population that you want to be serving? We all have these specific kinds of populations we want to work with. So if you are working with everybody, if you're open to working with everybody, are you making sure that you're displaying everybody on your website? Are you making sure you have different races, different sexual orientation, different religions, different body types? People need to be able to see themselves when they see those pictures on your website. They need to be able to connect with them. And it's hard for them to do that if they don't see somebody that looks like them on your website. So that's very, very important. The other thing too, and this comes from a mentor of mine, and that was very, resonated a lot with me, and it kind of like, it was an aha moment for me, was that if that client didn't fall in love with your first 30 images, the next 50 won't do. So just overloading them with a bunch of pictures, endless amounts of pictures in a very long gallery is not going to serve the purpose. Put together your most special, your best work, the work that really represents what you want to be doing. More of that. I want to be doing more of that kind of work, and that's what I should be showing. And you don't need more than 25 to 30 images in there on your website, right? So you don't want to be overwhelming them with just quantity over quality. If they didn't fall in love with you with the first 30 images, the next 50 won't make a difference, right? Very, very important concept. Again, we tend to have just a lot of photos and a lot of things on our website. Just be concise and be more precise when it comes to your images. All right, number 4, we're going to talk a little bit about your about page. So contrary to popular belief, your about me page should not be about you. And that sounds a little crazy, a little, counterintuitive, but you should be talking about your client more than yourself when it comes to your about page. We are selfish creatures by nature. We want to know what is in it for me. What are you doing for me? How are you going to solve my problem? So when I go to somebody's about page, I'm trying to find out, how are you going to be helping solve my problem? So the things that you should have on your about page, yes, you should have a little bit about you, but it should always be connected to what are you doing to serve me as a client? Why do I need you as a client? Why I should choose you over others? And what problem are you solving for me? If you're thinking through the answers of those questions when you're putting your about page together, it's going to, again, resonate a lot more with your client than if you tell me what kind of Netflix show do you like and how many coffees you drink a day. Right? So help them understand why you should be the choice for them. There's a really good book called Authority Brand from Donald Miller. Definitely recommend you guys taking a look at that. It really helps you understand that concept of building a brand that really speaks to your client as them being the hero and you kind of being the guide. So that's a great one there. And the last thing I want to touch on is contact forms. So again, that's where I see where a lot of people can improve. And those are minimal, quick improvements that you can make that can generate a very helpful outcome for you at the end of the day. Making sure that you're only asking them to put in their information that you absolutely need. And everything else should be gathered when you have that first meeting with that client, that first consultation with your client over the phone or in person, however you end up doing that. Just have them take the time just to fill out that important information, that minimum basic information that you need. Your contact form should also be pretty much on every single page of your website. You should give them the opportunity to hire you as often as possible. You want to make sure that they don't have to scroll all the way up on your homepage and click the menu button to then go to the contact form. Your contact form should be there when they're looking at your pictures and they decided they fell in love with you and they want to work with you. It should be there on your about page when they realize that you're the person to solve their problem and they're ready to hire you. It should be there in their blog when they're reading the information and they recognize how much of an expert you are and how ready you are to help them. So you don't make it hard for them to hire you. Make it as easy as possible by having that contact form on every page. Have your contact information on the top of your contact form. What that means is give them a way to email you and or call you if you're comfortable with that, or text you without them having to complete a contact form. Giving people different opportunities to contact you just helps to cater to different people. Not everybody loves contact forms, or maybe there's a vendor. You know, maybe there's somebody who wants to send you a client or who wants to communicate with you about a client. And you'll be surprised how many times I can't find how to contact people because they don't have their email or their phone number on their website, guys. And I don't want to have to complete your contact form if I'm not a bride and just waste your time and my time. So, you know, make sure that you have your contact information there on the top of your contact form so people can email you if they choose to do that. Your contact form should be connected to your CRM, which is your client relations management service. So they're feeding data and information directly into a system that you use to keep track of all your leads. If you're not doing that yet, I definitely recommend doing that. There's tons of great options out there. There's Honeybook, there's Abzado, there's, oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many out there, all kinds of options for everybody. And then you also want to make sure that you have some kind of opt-in to send communication to people. So if you want to be maybe reaching out to people and sending them tips, or maybe you want to be contacting them for any kind of future events that you have, if you feel like at any point you need to have their information, have a little opt-in already built into your contact form. That saves you time. It's already there for them to choose to be part of your email list for whatever reasons you feel like you need in the future. So those are just some tips on how to personalize and how to maximize your contact form there for you. All right, so I went over all the great things, all the tips for all of these 5 different things. So we talked about your homepage setup. We talked about your optimization in general. We talked about your gallery choices and the images on your website, and about your about page and your contact form. So I did promise you guys that I was gonna review a couple of websites here on the call if you would like me to. So go in the chat if you feel courageous enough, and I'll be super nice, I promise. I'll be very nice. We're just going to go over and kind of match, you know, look for the things that we just talked about and see, can we find them on your website, and just help you make sure that you have everything there. So if you would like, if you feel like you are comfortable with that, just put your website on the chat there for me, and I'll go over with you guys. We'll just pull up and I'll share my screen here. So let's see if we have any takers. Oh, Brittany, thank you so much. You're so sweet. And Rhonda, perfect. So let me pull their website here first, and we'll go over things together. And if I miss something, guys, feel free to point it out. We can do this together, kind of go through this exercise of going through it together. So here's Brittany's website. All right, can you guys see Brittany's website? No? Ooh, let's see. Let's reshare it. Aha, there it is. How about now? Still not? Jeff, they were brutal with you. But was it a good brutal though? Maybe. We'll find out. All right, you guys can see Brittany's website there. So, okay, let me put this here so we can make it perfect. So this is where I can see again. Let's look at that above the fold kind of concept, right? First, that first thing we talked about. So this is what we see without scrolling anything on Brittany's website. Oh yeah, she said, no, this is my first year of photography. That is amazing, Brittany. You go for it, girl. That's awesome. So hopefully we'll give you some great tips to accelerate your success even though you're in the first year. So she's saying Servin, she told me where she is. So that's great. We have the location here right on top. She has her value proposition here. A photograph captures a moment in time. She's saying, hey, let's do it. She's trying to get my business right away. Nothing wrong with that. So she has her value proposition. She has her hours. She didn't really tell me who necessarily she serves. I'm kind of getting a little hint here from this picture that she probably serves some families, but we're going to find out once we scroll. So that's it right there. So she has a beautiful family picture here. Amazing picture. She has a little bit about her here, so I like it. So we have a little like window to her About Me page, which is great. So that's kind of stuff that I was talking about, having little portals to the main pages of your website. And capture moments for your family. So that's perfect. So she did tell me now when I scroll a little bit down that she's working with families. Here's a little bit more of what she does. I think I recognize this template, Brittany. I've seen it before. I like it. She has a little bit of her gallery here. So on her homepage. So that's probably where, Brittany, remember we talked about curating your gallery to have a minimum amount of images that are really going to impact your client. So I'm scrolling a lot in here. And maybe you're in the beginning of your career and there's only a few sessions you've done so far. So you're trying to maximize how many you're using. I'll tell you, I'd rather have 5 pictures up here that are all amazing than having to look at all of these. So if you talked about, I think you talked about you do seniors. So maternity, newborn baby, family, seniors, couples. So I should see maybe at least a couple of pictures of each here, right? So I should see some family stuff, which we do. Like this is a great picture here. We should see that's another great candid one. Cuties. I should see some newborn stuff here if you've done it already. I should see some couple stuff here. So this is great. We have some couples. I see, I think I saw some maternity. So you have that here. You have more couples in here. And then you have some senior stuff on the bottom. I see one baby. So I think this is where you can probably clean up things and focus on let's, and you can do a little poll. You can ask a few people that you know, like what are the main, maybe pick 2 or 3 from each category that really are killers. Like this is an amazing picture right here. Like I love that. And just that's all I need to see on this homepage. And then you can have a link to your portfolio to where maybe you have, more in-depth portfolios. So it should look more like this over there in your homepage, Brittany. So this is more of a good example. Like maybe you just have 1 picture per category there where people can click and dive in a little bit more into, maybe I just want to look at maternity pictures. Maybe I just want to look at family pictures. So, just giving them a little bit of a, here are my top 2 things or my top picture for this, and then go for a deeper dive into that gallery for them. So you show me some gallery, you told me the services up there. I think, Brittany, what you can do is have like a little space for each one of those. So maybe you have kind of like what you did on this right here for yourself. It doesn't need to be this big, but it could be maybe like a maternity picture, and then you explain your maternity services. And then you'll be a family picture, and then you have this text to the side. Senior picture, this text to the side. So people can kind of just choose to go into that specific part of the website because that's what they're interested in. If I came in here for newborn and I'm seeing all this, I might be out of here already because I'm not seeing what I want. So give them the chance to only spend the time looking at what they want in there. Okay? Okay, perfect. So, and you have some social media links here, so that's all good. Let's look at your about page real quick. I would take care of this space right here, Brittany. That's just, I will just bring this up a little closer here for you. That's a great quote for family stuff. Yeah, so you're talking not so much about yourself here, you talk about family and how it can be, you know, how could they grow fast and how that can be stressful and how maybe you should hire a photographer to help all that stuff with outfits and locations and all that. And this is all great. That kind of goes with what I was talking about earlier. Like you're kind of telling them how you're gonna solve that problem. You did tell me a little bit about you. I don't need to know an LLC. Nobody really cares. I know we think it matters, but we really don't. Nobody really cares. If you tell me you're an S corp or an LLC, I'm looking for a photographer. So to us, it really, as a client, it really, no, you know, we don't really care about that kind of stuff. So I would just have your name there. Your owner, you can say you're owner of Brittany Baracco Photography. That's fine. You told me you have some kids, which is good because I can say, hey, I feel comfortable with somebody that already has kids taking my kids' pictures because you understand if somebody has a meltdown in the middle of a photo shoot and you're going to be more likely to maybe be sympathetic to that. So that's good. Can you tell me a little about you? I love to capture these moments for your family too. You told me, hey, these are good things to capture. I do it for my own family. Let me do it for you too. So that's great. I like that because mostly if that was all your about page, I'll say, you probably need a little bit more of how you're going to solve my problem and why I should hire you. But you have this section up here that really helps with that. So maybe just mixing those two and coming up with just one where you talk a little bit about yourself, but really focus on this part right here might be a good option for you. Good. And then you have, I'm assuming it's your family over here, cuties. Perfect. Good. And then we talked about testimonials. We have that here. Portfolio, we kind of went there a little bit already. You have testimonials there. And this should be where you have your services. Yeah. I would organize this a little bit more, Brittany. Think about like how we read. So we read left to right and up to down, right? So as a person, as a client, I want to see something that helps me read that way. And I'm like, maybe you just have lists of things in here, or you have a picture, text, picture, kind of back and forth, because it feels like it's a little like back and forth, back and forth. So just make this easier for me to read. Maybe your picture is a little bit smaller because now I'm focusing more on what's written in here and not so much in the picture. And the picture just kind of guide my eyes of like, hey, this is what it looks like for this kind of section. Cool. Let's look at your contact form real quick. All right. Contact me. You have your information here when it comes to your Instagram. But are you one of those that I don't know how to contact if I want to send you an email and a phone? So yeah, if you're comfortable with having your email here, definitely do that. If you're comfortable with having your phone number, definitely do that. It doesn't have to be huge. It can even be a small thing, you know, smaller, but I would definitely say have that in there. You probably have a more impactful image to put in here with your contact form from what I saw on your homepage. So I'll definitely take a look at that, maybe have something different or just having one thing. All right, first and last name, phone number, email, message. So like, what is your purpose for this box here that says message? Right, so I'll think about, do I really need this here? Like as a client, I just want you to contact me and tell me what the next step is. Like, I don't really have a message for you. Or maybe if you want to know something specific, then tell me what specifically you want to know. Maybe you want to say, you're already asking me the location type and session type. So I would have a purpose for this box or get rid of it. Maybe you can say, tell me a little about your story, or like, what do you want me to capture? But if you don't have a purpose for this, then just wait until you get that first contact to get that information. Good. And then you have the location types in here and the session types. Perfect. Cool. Thank you, Brittany, for sharing that with us. All right, let's see. We're going to go to Rhonda next. And then I think Jeff got some courage and put his website in there. I think that's yours, Rhonda. Let me see real quick. Okay. Yes, that is Rhonda. 716. Tell me about that, Rhonda. What did the number mean? I want to know. I'm curious now. All right, so here's Rhonda's above the fold. I'm not scrolling anything. We see her menu. We see Harris photography, couples, wedding, portraits, events. So she told me what she does, right? Who she works with. I don't have a value proposition here, and I don't have a location here. That's what I would say it's missing. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Had to scroll a little bit. I'm not in full page mode here, so it's over here. She has it. Ron, that's a little hard to see where it is. So I would maybe make it just a smaller line down here as your third line to add this here. So you have serving the greater Western New York and Buffalo area. So maybe, maybe that should go right under here or somewhere where I don't have to scroll as much. So think about, and make sure that the pictures that you're using here are all allowing me to read this. So, this picture, it's okay. I can read most of it. This one, I lose some of it. This is a little harder in here. So, and that's a great one because I can read it really well in there, right? So just like check on that a little bit. Oh, your area, that's perfect. 716. Make sure that just the picture, and you have the couple here twice. This is the same couple with the bubbles. So I'll pick that second picture because it makes everything better to read. And maybe you need to look into the placement of this to be maybe a little bit more to the side. And maybe this whole thing is like side and lower so you can see the pictures better. But every picture that's here should allow me to read this whole thing without me having to like squint in there. Yeah, so definitely move that. You talk about breathtaking pictures, inspiring venues, incredible experience. You gave me a little window to your wedding gallery, I'm assuming, or wedding services, portraits. That's great. So those are kind of the two things. I think you can have more on your homepage, Rhonda. Like you should have a little bit of your, like a window to your about section. You should have something to your galleries like you have here. You should have something to maybe your investments. Like these pages that you have here, I should all be able to just scroll down here and get to them too, without having to go back up there to click on them, okay? Let's see your about real quick here. That's you. You tell me who you are. And you tell me why it's important to capture memories, which is great. And why you're doing this for me. So you kind of like, you're telling me why you're solving my problem there, which is good. I think you need to work on your footer here a little bit more, Rhonda. Make this more clean and organized. So it doesn't look like it's just some information that got put in the page there without purpose. So I would maybe work on that footer a little bit more too. And you can probably have a little bit more here about you. I know you're an interesting person. I know there's more going on. I know you can talk more about how you can help those people. from a wedding standpoint or a portrait standpoint. So I think you can definitely elaborate on this a little bit more. Let's look at the galleries real quick. So you have some great, I know you have great pictures. I've seen them before. And I think these are a good number. I think you're not too above the ones that I talked about earlier, which is great. Again, have an opportunity for me to, oh my gosh, these pictures are great. I have a contact form here on the bottom. So I can go straight into trying to hire you from that. And then you have your investments here. Let's go into contact page. Oh, I don't know what that is. So there's some kind of error on your contact page here. I can't really read what's under there. You have your email here, which is great. You don't have to have your phone number, like I said, but I definitely need to have your email in here. So that's great. You have your email there. Full name, email, phone number, what type of photo shoot you're looking for. How did you hear about us? If you're keeping data, make sure you're doing something with this data. You're not just asking for the sake of asking, okay? Because this is important data, but I want to make sure that you're doing something with it. And then tell me more about this project. Again, if you're doing something with this information, great. If you're not, then you can get rid of it. All right, Jeff, let's see. See what we got. See, I'm probably nicer than whoever's on your website. Maybe. We'll see. We'll find out. All right, above the fold. Let's see what we got. We have you're telling me who you guys are. I can tell you more than just a DJ, right? You're in there. That's kind of your value proposition. You're not just a DJ. You're already flashing some authority up there, which is great. I can see that you've got some awards, that people know you. It's a good picture. How long ago did you guys take this picture? Type it in there for me. You can mute yourself. You can talk to me. 4 years. Is it time? Is it time for a new one? Is this still represent?
To be honest, I'm changing. I'm changing my company entirely up, and I'm going back to just being me.
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of all my guys. Actually, 2 of those guys are no longer with me, and I only have 2 left, and I'm just going back to solo now because I'm tired of having to manage all these other problems.
Adult babysitting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so it's probably going to be time for a new head photo.
Yeah, I'm actually rebuilding a new website as we're speaking. So
perfect. I would say up here, Jeff, you might want to think about having a picture of the people like just partying and having fun, which is what I want when I'm going to hire a DJ. I want to see that you can throw a good party. And then save your new picture for more of the about page. Because I know you do, like, having the experience is the big thing for you, is what you build your brand around. But again, we are selfish creatures, and I don't care about you, Jeff. I care about me and how you're gonna make me party on my wedding day or event. So yeah, like a raving, Angelica said it too, a raving photo will be a killer there, as someone that experienced you and she knows it. So I think like a big, like, showing everybody kind of going crazy and party up here would be a good option for you. All right, and then
don't click on first time visitor.
Okay.
First time visitor was an experiment that I tried, and after a few years, I realized that it failed. I basically created a sales tunnel that people had to go through. I'm go ahead and click on it once, I guess. You had so click on we gave people an option to get out of it, but click on the full experience.
People often ask me what makes
you would have to watch 3 videos before you got to my main menu. And this was the part that killed me because And not to mention, my website was built on a very obscure platform that most people don't know how to operate, and I couldn't do any Google Analytics with this, so
Yeah.
it took us a long time to figure out it failed. But anyway, so it gives you the illusion of choice, but you're actually going right down a tunnel that I want, because I was trying to educate my clientele before they got to my main page. But
Okay.
most people just didn't even make it to my main page. But hit repeat customer and just zips past all that.
So, what platform are you using now for your new one?
Going back to WordPress.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not a technical guy, and I didn't know there were such things when I had this built. So
Yeah, well, we all just tried our best. Good. That's okay. So this one right here, we have a little bit of like, you can go to all these things here, the team, the photos, videos, FAQs, reviews, and contacts. So let's say I want to know this. You tell me a little bit about everything. It will become just you in the future, right?
yep.
And then, okay, I want to just navigate this through and see what I can see. And I'm able to see it larger. Okay. How old are these pictures, Jeff?
Couple of years, maybe.
Okay. So you still have them like, so I wouldn't make people have to click on it twice. So if I came to your gallery, just show me the pictures in a good size already. Like, don't make me gonna come in here. And I like having control over when I can advance the pictures, but I also don't want to have to like click it 3 times to get there. Like, I should be able to come to this page and already see what I need to see. Right. And again, give me a curated, like maybe different kinds of parties. Think about like, you have weddings, you have birthday parties, you have quinceañeras, corporate parties, whatever you do. And when you show me a DJ, I want to see something that is really interesting, because other than that, I don't want to see the DJ. I better see something like intriguing. Maybe you're DJ and you're also like, throwing it up, like you're doing something like this. So I want to see something different than just a DJ at the booth. So if you're gonna spend this real estate space with showing me a DJ picture, show me an interesting DJ picture. But I would definitely capitalize on the parties and like people having fun, different kinds of people. Think about different kinds of parties and different kinds of people, again, so people can see themselves when they're looking at these pictures. So it looks like this is all the same party here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
right? So like,
no, there was 4 that were the same, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just like pick your best, the
Yeah.
best, to show them having the time of their lives. They're having so
This
much
time
fun.
I'm capping at 25 photos. That's it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so I'll definitely look into that. Are you organizing the whole thing differently, or are you keeping the same kind of flow?
Yeah, completely redoing it. I liked how clean my site was. I feel too many other DJs just try to do a data dump on there. They try to give out every information in long paragraphs and scrolling, and they're trying to tell their whole life story. And I want to keep it simple, short paragraphs, explanations, and
Yeah.
I try not to.
I would try to follow. So people are used to that concept of those main pages that we talked about, like a home page, a kind of services page. It doesn't have to be a gallery. So it could be like a home page, an about page, a gallery page, a service page, and your contact page, right? Those main 5 pages is what people are used to. So when I come here, it's sometimes hard to figure out where to go, because that format is not there, because our brain just got used to those pages on websites. So always structure it that way, but then you can put things like your FAQs should be on your homepage. Like you're trying to educate people right away, but not making it hard for them to get to you and give you their money. I want to know what you offer and I can't find it anywhere in here.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
I know you're a DJ, but like you're telling me you're different, you're more than a DJ, but like where is it? Like I can't find it if I don't contact you, kind of thing, you know? So it should be in here. You should have a services page that say, hey, these are the main things that we offer. You don't even have to have pricing in here. I don't have pricing on my website. They have to talk to me to get pricing. But they know that I offer these few things. And then, so what do you offer in there? And what are the add-ons? Like what makes you different? What is the experience? Like, tell me, you're talking about it, but I don't know what it is. Like, you know, so that
Mhm.
should be in there. And then let's look at your contact form real quick. You have the date of the event, name, email, cell phone, DJ, event type, additional comments. How did you hear about us? Okay. And then you don't have your contact information in here?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know that's bad.
Terrible. You're so terrible. All right. Cool. Well, thank you guys for, you know, spending the time. I wanted to make sure that, you know, I gave you some tips on things that I've used that have helped me. This is all like a little snippet of a course that I'm launching next year. It's called Booking Up, and it talks about all kinds of things that would help you book more clients. The first of them is website flow. We talk about SEO basics. We talk about some social media musts, vendor connections, closing a deal, and bridal shows for those of you who do them. And I'll be launching this in the first quarter of next year. And what I have for you guys is, because you came to this today, you guys can get 15% off of that. So when I send you the presentation, I will make sure that there is a coupon code for you to use whenever we launch that course. But you guys are going to be, you'll be the first to know because you're on our email list by being on the presentation today. And I'll make sure that you know when we're launching. So if you want to take advantage of it, it's definitely going to be there for you. Any other questions before we go, before I let you guys go back to all the wonderful things you've been doing? Perfect. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you guys spending the time. Hopefully this was useful. Send me a quick email or a note on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. Let me know if this was helpful, if you're able to apply some things. I would love to hear from you guys. And I'll let you know. Hope you have a wonderful holiday season with your family and friends. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.